Hey everyone, this is Jay from the Forum Group and Remax. As always, if you enjoy the content, please like, subscribe, and share. Anyway, folks, I just wanted to pop in really quickly, give you a state of the market update on what's going on currently and some predictions that are coming up, the end of this year and the beginning of next year. So right now, guys, currently the rates are around 6 and 6.5%. They are fluctuating daily, and believe it or not, Rhode Island housing is still the best game in town, right around 5.58% for interest rate, and that does depend on, again, what your credit score is. So some of the big players out there: Fannie Mae, Freddie Mac, Mortgage Bankers Association, and National Association of Realtors. You might have heard of these names, you might not have, but anyway, they are big players, and they're predicting that the last quarter of this year, we're going to look at a 5.5% interest rate. And more excitingly, the first, second, and third quarter of next year, we should start to really see the interest rate leveling off right around 4.3%. But that is going to be dependent on inflation and what happens with that. After the summer ends and the lull, kind of cools down a little bit, and as mortgage rates start to stabilize, I think we're going to see a return of buyers in a relatively strong fall housing market, and that's going to roll into the winter, but slow down a little bit because it gets colder. I don't think that the housing prices will decline in any meaningful way, meaning that there will be a slowdown of appreciation, but we're not going to see a depreciation. That's going to take years, most likely. The annual home price growth has slowed for the third consecutive month in July, but it remains elevated at 15.8%. So as a 30-year fixed mortgage rate near 6% over the summertime, like I mentioned, it did cool off some prospective buyers that pulled back. And this helped ease the overheated and unsustainable price growth that we have been seeing. Looking ahead, a company called CoreLogic expects to see more of a balanced housing market, with the year-over-year appreciation slowing down to about 3.8% roughly by July of 2023. I will note, guys, this is a national average for the next year, and I think what we'll see over here might be a little different. We're gonna have to keep an eye on it, but I think it'll be, the appreciation will be slightly higher, between 5 and 8%, depending on the location that we are in Rhode Island or Massachusetts. Inventory, like I mentioned, is still historically low, with only 1,115 single families available. Again, to put in perspective, roughly 2,500 is usually what we're seeing right now. Buyers, this is going to hurt a little bit, so sit down and listen. But according to a recent study, National Association of Realtors said compared to 1 year ago today, the monthly mortgage payments on a home is about $1,900, and that's from about $1,250 from last year. Now, if you pay rent, it's still a good idea to sit down, run the numbers to see what the risk associated with waiting is. Because like I mentioned, it's going to take time for prices to come down a little bit. And what's going to happen is if you're paying a large rent monthly, you're never going to see that again. And the savings that you perceived you're going to have might not be there, because again, you're throwing money out the window, you're not slowly paying off equity, and you have no tax write-off. So all that stuff really has to come in play. It's just not well, the prices are high right now, I'm going to wait, because it could hurt you in the long run. But overall, at the end of the day, guys, we're still not out of the woods yet. Sellers, you still can capitalize on a higher equity position, but you might have to wait a little longer. And buyers, you have a little more breathing room for now, with less offers being made on homes and days on market starting to slowly extend over time. So regardless of your position in this marketplace, a strategic plan will ensure your success in this roller coaster of a marketplace. So I hope this information has been helpful for you, and as always, be good, do good, and I'll talk to you next time, my friends. Bye.